This is the Atlas Garage Pro 9000. It's only partially assembled because I wasted a lot of time watching videos yesterday. So my intent here is to make a video that's a little bit shorter to get you the information you need to get the parts shook out and assemble it right the first time. The parts are heavy. You don't want to have to take it apart and do it again. That could give you a sore back. The main runway ramps are very heavy. Mechanical help is great. I used an engine picker, one of those cherry picker engine hoists, so that you get the ramps orientated in the right place. One way to realize which way they need to go, I know when you open up a crate, you got all these parts, you've never assembled one of these before, you don't know what's what. These ramps, it's very easy to tell how to get them end for end properly. The little J channel and the inside here is what lets you know that J channel goes to the inside. Of course, the outside of these runways are flat with no J channel. That gets you orientated end for end, and then which one is right and left. The ramp here on the left has a hydraulic ram mounted underneath it to run the thing. The main body of that ram, not the chrome part that slides out of the ram, but the main body of the ram end goes to the front next to this column with the bracket. That's the difference between the columns. One column has a bracket welded on for your hydraulic pump. The other three columns are all typical. They don't matter where they go. Another part that matters where it goes, the main beams that run across from column to column here have a front and a back beam. If you slide the wrong beam into the wrong column, you'll be redoing it. How you know? There's a hole on this side of the beam. You want that orientated so the hole is on your hydraulic side. Another thing that has lefts and rights are the end caps that bolt on top of the columns. Those end caps, you see how there's a hole where the cable runs through that's offset on the right side. It has to line up with your sheave that's in the beam that's also on the right side. If you put the end cap bolted on the left one on the right one, you'll have to unbolt them and change them. Speaking of the bolts, when we opened up the bags of bolts, there's 3 different lengths. The instructions don't say what goes where, so just so you know, these end caps take the short bolts, where these runway ramps bolt on here to the beams, that's the medium bolts. And then the long bolts go on this end where the stoppers are. There's not much difference in the length of the bolts. They're each bolt, I think, is 1/8 of an inch longer than the other. They're all the same diameter. Something else I wanted to mention is the instructions say to take these cables off the hydraulic ram and feed them all through and take the sheaves apart and everything. To do that, that's ridiculous. You'd be half a day doing that. These threaded ends feed nicely through here. All you have to do is take your finger, bend these springs away like that, poke it through, and then after it's poked through, you can just pop the cable onto the sheave. And so that's done. Another thing I wanted to mention is this rod is ridiculously long. It's 9 feet long. It slides into the end of this beam in the front. It has to slide in from the outside because it has this T welded onto it. And the T goes to the outside. You need 9 feet of clearance in front of your hoist to slide that in. Most garages aren't that big. So you either have to assemble your hoist maybe so that it's sideways in the garage to make use of the other bay to slide that in. I got lucky. My door to my house is right here, so I can raise the hoist and slide it in that way. I think that's about all the points that I wanted to cover here.